anti-Afro Spengalis. Do you see here the proof? I have stated it before. I'll state it again. I've cited other brothers and sisters on the internet stating Umar Johnson doesn't care about you. He only cares when the white man wants to haul him into court. As you see here, we have some action in the child support area. Should I say non-child support area? He was hauled into court to get a bench warrant vacated. Now for this version, part 2, I enlarged the screen because I believe it was too small the last time. I didn't double check that. I usually do. So I apologize for that. But I enlarged the specific areas of focus. And as you can see here, rightfully so, the mother in this case, the mother who was paying all of the expenses for a child that Umar Johnson has acknowledged through the court system, but he refuses to pay for. So look at this. This is ridiculous, people. You have this person up here just, I don't even know what to say at this point. Actually, I do know what to say before I forget. I don't want to forget. Remember how this all got started. And for some reason, Umar Johnson thinks I'm doing something to him. Other people say the same thing. I'm doing something to a black man. No, it's already done or already not done. Not taking care of your responsibilities. Number 2, perpetrating in a field you have no business in. So no, I am not going to sit around and allow Umar Johnson to engage in these behaviors unchallenged. Not going to happen. I stated it before, and I will repeat it as often as I need to. If you got a problem with what I'm doing, that is indeed your problem. It is not my problem, and it's not going to dictate to me what I'm going to do on this channel, who I'm going to talk about, what subjects I'm going to cover. That is something that I'm going to decide. So it doesn't make any difference whatever Umar Johnson conjures up in his little pea brain. It's not going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. So I just want to make sure that's clear. And I will continue to remind those out there who seem to think that I am like those they obviously encounter in everyday life. They most likely have somebody that they are subjugating that does any and everything that they want and are, afraid of them and jump around and just, do whatever they want. Sorry, I have never lived like that, nor will I ever live like that. I don't have to jump around because I have decided long, long, long ago to follow what my parents taught me. Stay out of harm's way, and there's the less likely chance you will encounter harm. There are no guarantees, people. But Umar Johnson is putting himself on the firing line. Don't blame me, because I insist on making sure something is done about it. There are so many people out there that take care of their children through hard times, truly hard times. These aren't the people who are getting on airplanes and traveling around the world on stolen money from single black mothers. Ordinary people making it. These are people like you listening out there. Ordinary people. Umar Johnson is a vile exception. How many of you people out there encountering challenges to take care of your children are hopping on airplanes, traveling around the world? How many of you are hijacking and stealing money from your community? Umar Johnson is a fraud who got cold busted and is angry because he never thought this would happen. He thought he had it going on. He was posting all these videos about people who were scamming the black community before he got the idea of the Go Fraud Me account, Go Fraud You account, fake campaign for a school he never intended to open. So now he's up here hiding on the internet. Hiding on the internet, posting pictures. Now, I say hiding on the internet because he's too chicken to come out and say what he did. Lied again. So he's posting all these pictures, again, as I stated, to obscure what's happening currently. Is that some chicken shit bullcrap? Have you ever heard of anybody doing anything like this? And again, I cite Polite. Polite did not use a title. And I'm not saying he didn't rip people off, but he didn't do it using any sort of title. So that's going to be a lot more dicey to manage, to decipher. But Umar Johnson straight up lies. He cannot prove anything that he has ever stated about what happened to that money. He was in a hotel room claiming he has all these notebooks.
First thing you need to do is you need to start writing everything down. Everything you need to do needs to be written down. The most important thing you can own is a notebook and a pen. Most important thing you can own is a notebook and a pen. Most important thing you can own is, in fact, look how many I got. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because that's what I need. I got FDMG, I got oratory, I got personal stuff, business stuff, ideas, Pan-Africanism. Got to keep good notes.
Hey, you carry all these notebooks around, but you can't carry around any documentation to prove anything about this GoFundMe or this $1 million that he stole. He is so full of garbage, people. It is just absolutely outrageous. And here we are again. It doesn't matter if it's a male or female, mother or father. You are responsible for taking care of your kids. I've already stated, if multimillionaires in the music industry and in Hollywood and in New York, they don't get away with not paying child support. Their behinds get hauled into court like everybody else. And I'm not going to neglect to mention Umar Johnson. It's just bad news all the way around, right down to picking his nose right in front of your face when he claims to be telling you he knows what's best for you. This is so disgusting. I mean, where in the hell is the home training? There are 0 remnants of home training. There are 0 remnants of decency. Oh, and speaking of home training, Jamal Johnson decides he wants to make an appearance again. And guess under what context? He's up here thinking he can rule people on YouTube again. Oh my God. And Umar Johnson is at the top of the list. The nerve of him to get on airplanes and travel around the world and try to tell black people what they need to do to be a parent. And he refuses to take care of his own kids. And then you have Jamal Johnson coming up here recently trying to get on people about you're talking about me. Yes, we're talking about you. You allowed this to happen. You have no influence over your ratchet, reckless son who's going around here threatening you. You don't even have the guts to turn him into the law. So who the hell is Jamal Johnson to go on people's pages after purging all of his accounts? Now he's coming up here getting on folks' pages and leaving messages about don't say anything about me. You are responsible, Jamal Johnson, for this happening, because the very least you could have done was spoken out publicly and condemned the thievery of Umar Johnson. Then you'd be off the hook. You're not on the hook because you had a bad relationship with your son that you have admitted to. Do we even need for him to admit to that? Having a bad relationship with your child who's now an adult is not the fault. The fault is, what did you do to rectify that? You need to take ownership of that publicly by condemning his actions. So here he is again in court because he refuses to pay child support. The judge is fed up and issued a bench warrant for his arrest. So what does Umar Johnson do? He drops everything and runs into court. That's why I'm telling you, there is no other way to deal with somebody like Umar Johnson other than taking him to court getting him in front of the legal system. And whatever Umar Johnson tries to do to me, like it's my fault. He's up here espousing all this garbage under the fake title as a mental health professional, and he thinks I'm going to sit still for that? I have every right to speak up, and I will speak up. Umar Johnson doesn't want to assume responsibility for anything. He's just out here being a public bum. An overgrown welfare case. He is a welfare case. He is being taken care of literally by black women on government aid. And the nerve of him to go around trashing anybody on the internet. He needs to take a flying leap off the next mountain. Now listen, other people may be in the same situation as Umar Johnson, but they're not dumb enough to get up here on the internet and try to preach to black folks about how they should be taking care of their children. That's the thing. That's why he is being fully exposed for the hypocrite that he is. So, wanted to make sure you have this information. It's astounding. It is simply astounding how he thinks he can get away with doing what he is doing. Obviously, he is getting more rude awakenings that is not going to happen. Let this be a lesson, people. Don't ever listen to somebody who you know is not taking care of their own business, but they're preaching to you in order to get your money out of guilt. By all means, keep your head up high. Don't let anybody deny you the reality that the only way to protect yourself is heeding the warning. Buyer beware.